Hello, welcome back. France 24 News. Now it's time for International Press View in the papers, and doing the honours today is Marion Hembest, who stands with me now. Marion, I'm guessing, well, I'm looking down actually, so it's not much of a guess, I'm cheating, Israel, the Pope's visit to Israel that starts this Monday.
Yes, and we first looked, of course, at the Israeli press, and YNetNews.com reminds its readers that the Pope will be arriving in Israel today. This is the English version of Yediot Aharonot, the Israeli paper. Now, the paper picks up on the fact that the Pope is going to be visiting some very sensitive sites, including Jerusalem, as we mentioned earlier, and the Holocaust Memorial Museum Yad Vashem on Monday. Now, he's not due to stop at the caption below the picture of Pius XII, the wartime controversial Pope who didn't speak out against the Holocaust. Now, one rabbi in the article is quoted as urging all others not to meet the Pope because of this reason, and also because it says the Catholic Church tortured and murdered Jews and helped the Nazis. So really treading on eggshells, the Pope, as he steps into Israel there.
And more recently, of course, he has caught a controversy by reinstated the famous Holocaust denying, or certainly gas chambers denying, British bishop. OK, so let's look at Figaro.
Figaro also picks up on this as well. Benedict XVI's perilous arrival in Jerusalem, the title of an article there, saying that the context of his visit has drastically changed since the last Pope, Jean Paul II, was in Israel in 2000. Now, they're saying that the peace process hopes have all been shattered and tensions have risen in the area of late. So the Pope is going to have to be very careful. Spiritually, according to this article, he supports the Holy Land's Christians, many of which are Palestinians, so that's a tricky situation. As a theologian, he's interested in the idea of the Jewish divine vocation, but it says a German that he will be standing in front of the Holocaust Museum Memorial. So interesting context for him.
He'll need all the diplomatic skills he would ever have amassed, I think, for this trip. OK, and lastly, Jerusalem Post, I gather, is obviously featuring this visit a lot.
Yeah, lots of coverage in there. Just picked up on something on page 2. Just Peace for Israel, an organisation, has put out a message to the Pope saying that he could really succeed in his mission, in their opinion, if he speaks out against the denouncing of Israel, whether from Hamas and Fatah, Tehran, or the sanctimonious corridors of the UN.
OK. Well, let's move on to another story. MPs, I gather, certainly British MPs, have been spending the cash a bit too freely, it seems.
Yes, and over the weekend it was Gordon Brown and the Labour Party attacked over the expenses scandal, which has been going on for days now in the British press. Now it's the Conservatives and David Cameron, so the tables have turned. And in the Telegraph, there's an article entitled "Cameron's Cabinet Drawn into the Expenses Scandal." Photographs there of senior party members who are implicated in this scandal. And the Telegraph, of course, has been leading this investigation, right-leaning Telegraph, it's interesting to point out, and they've done an in-focus piece on that. We also picked up on a photograph in The Guardian which really contrasted to some of the photos we were showing over the weekend of Gordon Brown, head in his hands, looking rather worried. Now it's Cameron who's looking ashamed as the spotlight turns on the Tories.
So The Guardian, which I guess is centrist, if not left-leaning, broadsheet as well from Britain. OK, that's interesting. Right, well, let's end then... what's this you've got from us about Jacob Zuma?
That's right, yes. Looking at the Saudi Arabian press, the Al-Sharq Al-Awsat, which thinks it's got the answer to who is going to be Jacob Zuma's first lady, because, of course, he brought 3 along to his inauguration speech yesterday. Apparently, it's his first wife who's singled out in the photo, according to the Arab press there.
His first wife? OK,
that's
well,
right.
That's going to be one of 3, so I guess that's, that narrows the odds somewhat. OK, thank you very much for that, Marion Hembest. That wraps up our International Press View in the papers. Do stay with us here on France 24.